I want to get some of the goofiness out of the way early. But for you, that go-ahead three against Kentucky,
Yep.
or so the memory of the go-ahead three against Kentucky, or the memory of having your first child.
Well, right now I'm taking the 3 because I don't
There
have
you
a
go.
kid yet, so I'm
For
definitely
sure.
taking the 3.
Yeah, for sure,
No.
for sure. I was joking about this with my friends the other day, and I told them that you were coming on the show, and I was like, I wonder what, he's 85 years old. He's looking back on his life, and which one is he going to be more fond of? And so that's a funny question. I'm sure it'll be your child once you have one. But
Yeah, right.
um, well, let's jump into it, man. Before we kind of talk about that run and everything, I actually want to talk about your role as a coach
Yeah.
and how do you go about propagating a championship culture in the locker room?
Yeah. So that's a phenomenal question, and I do enjoy talking about this topic. Obviously, becoming going from player to coach. Now I'm really all in with this coaching thing. It's been great so far, but the locker room and that culture, in my opinion, dictates your success on the court. And it's like there's a whole bunch of things. I could talk about this for days. Like it's that important to me. And the reason why is really because as a player, I've had many different experiences, and I think that's kind of my advantage getting into this whole coaching thing is that I've been the guy, I've sat the bench, I didn't get in games, I played the whole game. All these different things. I've been on teams that overachieved, I've been on teams that underachieved. So, and I'm very like observant in that way to where I'm seeing like, okay, like why is this happening? What does our locker room really look like? And now, looking back, I can see like, okay, the good coaches I've had, the really, really good high level coaches that I've had the locker room look a certain way, had everybody acting a certain way. And then when you got to the teams that underachieved with a lot of talent, underachieved, you look at the locker room there and it's like, okay, this is the difference. And I feel like I have a really, really good feel on what that difference is. So now I'm coaching, obviously, I'm the head coach of my JV basketball team at my old high school, Bergen Catholic. And my goal was to, one, just because of how I'm like wired, I'm gonna treat them like they're a Division I program to the best of my ability. So that's just me going all out. Last year, I had a whole bunch of these like little detail rules. One of them is as simple as everybody has to like the message of the schedule for the next day. So tomorrow's schedule, practice at this time. So everybody's like the message. Simple little things like that, they build up. And I know that because it's been it's just like a discipline thing. And it's like you get guys, it's like we have 15 kids on team. You see that thing has 13 like thumbs ups. It's like who's not liking it, but like why? Like it's the little details right there. Another thing for me was like getting early. Like we're 15 minutes early on the court. We're getting our minds ready, our shoelaces are tied, we're ready to go. Um, so and I hold them accountable to all that. The lines is the next thing that drives me insane. Is if you're sprinting, you're doing a sprint. I don't care what the sprint is. What is the point of coming this close away from touching the line? There's no difference. Just touch the line. So it's like little things like that. If you let them slip, there's a compound. It goes and it's like loss, loss, loss. Oh, I cheated this, I cheated that. Or it's like you just stack up little wins. And so last year we ended up going undefeated, 25-0. We have a great season. It was a great team. And now this year, I think we're at 20 wins, 0 losses. So we're headed towards the end of the stretch right there. And I'm still like holding everybody accountable, no matter what the talent is. If you're one of the best players on the team, you're probably not getting in some of the games. I'm holding everybody equivalent. Everybody's on the same playing field because I'm trying to do my best job of showing them what it takes to get to that next level, how important those details matter, and being able to just hold yourself accountable with everything you do.
I've always defined culture as who we are and what we do every single
Yep.
day. Would
Yep.
you agree with that definition?
I agree. It's like the standard. You set the standard for yourself, and then you set it for your team.
Yeah. One thing that I always, and you touched on this, one thing that I always agreed with was the potential of the best player on your team
Yep.
is the bare minimum standard for everyone on the team.
Yeah.
And so one benefit that I had in my high school career is I was arguably the worst player in the gym for much of it. And so and you can attest to this, I always tried to surround myself with people who were way better than I was. And luckily, I had a coaching staff who recognized, hey, we have guys who are going to go play in the NBA in this gym. And so everyone in this program, whether it be the manager who fills up our water bottles
Yep.
to, hey, Ron Holland, number 5 lottery pick in the NBA draft, everyone in this program is going to be treated as a professional lottery pick. And so with you being a JV coach, do you propagate that same mentality?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a lot of it is again the previous coaches that I've had that were really, really good coaches and they did a great job. I like learned from them. And I'll like reach back out to my my coach I had growing up, Marty Higgins. He's one of the best coaches I've had. He's my best friend's dad. He's coached me my whole life. I've called him so numerous times throughout my career, ask him questions, what he would do, just different advice, just to pick me up or tell me what I need to hear. And I'll still call him to this day. Hey, like my team's doing this right now. What would you do? Just ask him for his opinion because like all these great coaches, they've had such an impact on myself in my basketball career, but also my life too. So I want to make sure that I'm providing that for the players that I have.
What makes a good coach?
It's a good question. It's a great question, actually. Um, I guess what makes a good coach is, I guess, a couple things. One of them would be the care factor. So, does the coach care about his players? Does he care about his players getting better? Does he care about his players off the court? Um, how they're actually doing in life or their career, whatever it is. I think the care factor is huge. I think the commitment to the team, like, are you willing to go and scout this team and have your team be prepared to go play against that team? Or are you too lazy and you don't want to, that you'll just figure it out when you get there? You just figure out in the game, oh, number 3 is a shooter on their team. Or you're going to go and try to look up every video, especially at the JV level. There's not that much film out there. And it's like, are you going to go the extra mile to try to look up all these different websites to go find video just to see number 3 is a shooter? And then you start the game prepared with that. And then I feel like the next thing is the intensity. There's a lot of coaches out there that, and everybody has their own coaching style, their own playing style, really just personalities in life. But for me, like, I'm a huge believer in the intensity. If my intensity is low, I feel like, not all the time, but my team's intensity will drop. But if my intensity is all the way up and I'm giving it my all on the sideline, my players will feed off that. Well, okay, like this is look at my coach. My coach is in a stance, clapping his hands when we're on defense. Like, we got to get a stop right now. So I feel like that intensity part of it is huge as like it's like a mental boost for the guys.
Yeah, totally agree. The best coaches that you've played for and the best coaches that you currently work with,
Yep.
when you guys are preparing for a game, is the preparation more focused on what do we need to get better at? Or is it focused on how are we going to play against this team that we're coming up against?
You know, 99% of it comes down to us and what we do. And obviously, the way that our play style is, speaking in this program, it's very heavily on if we're doing our job, not so much what the other team is doing. A little bit of it comes down to personnel for the other team. Like I said, who's a shooter, who's a driver, who do we have to keep off the boards. But at the end of the day, it's definitely, if we take care of what we're supposed to take care of, we're in a good seat.
Yeah. How easily does high level high school basketball translate to the college game?
Um, I would say it translates with the level of competition.
Okay.
So speaking high level high school basketball, once you continue to play against other high schools that are like really talented and they got a bunch of players and they're already built out a little bit more than the other teams. The skill level is like you can't mess up. Like, you mess up a little bit and they're capitalizing. Now when you get to college, everybody can play. Everybody can play. All teams are good, and you just never know what will happen. So it's like it just emphasizes how much of the details you have to take care of, how disciplined you have to be. You can't really take plays off because other teams they see and they capitalize, and then you don't know which of those plays is gonna impact the result of the game.
When you were in high school, correct me if I'm wrong, you were down to 3 offers? Is that kinda what you were looking at?
I had 4 offers, but,
Mhm,
and I kinda took all of them into consideration.
for
Yeah.
sure. Who were those for?
The University of New Hampshire, Wagner, Fairleigh Dickinson, and St. Peter's.
Why St. Peter's?
I chose St. Peter's because, mainly because of the coaching staff. Coach Shaw and his coaching staff, they recruited me heavily, and my vision aligned with their vision, and, it wasn't really that unique of a vision. It was just to win. And like I hate losing so much. I love winning. As I've been like that my whole life. So they how much they talked about winning, we kind of aligned. And then St. Peter's also 15, 20 minutes from my house. So I knew if I went there, my family, my friends would be able to kind of go to the games and show their support in person. It'd be a lot easier than traveling a distance. Yeah.
For a winner, do you think it's more important to love winning or to hate losing?
I think in my opinion, I would say to hate losing. I hate losing. I hate losing so much that there was numerous times throughout my career that if I lost a drill and it was a drill that coach said, all right, guys, go get water, I wouldn't go get water because I didn't deserve it. Did not deserve it. I would lose high school games. I would perform horribly against big time rival schools. And at that time, it's like you got Bergen Bosco, student sections going crazy, the adrenaline of the game. It's better than some college atmospheres, honestly. And you go and you play horrible, and your team loses, and there's me going back home. Um, and I'm hood on right to the basement, and I'm punching my heavy bag for 2.5 hours straight. Just there in the dark. Sounds kind of psychotic now looking back at it, but that is my care factor, and I need to release that kind of like can't change the past.
Mhm.
So doing that kind of exerted myself, and then yeah, no, that's those are kind of the dark moments, but that's what losing does, and that's what losing does to me. I dislike it so much that it forces you to next time you make sure that you do everything in your control because there's a lot of things you can't control, everything that you can control to go win.
In your playing career, what were some of the biggest adjustments that you personally had to make? Whether it be, from one loss to the next game or from freshman year of high school to senior year or from high school to college, what were just some of the biggest adjustments you had to make?
Yeah, there's a couple adjustments. One is always the mindset, in terms of not getting too down, miss a couple shots, and now it's like you start taking yourself out of the game, start overthinking it, second guessing yourself. So that was something I had to overcome more in high school of just shoot the ball. Like you miss 10 in a row, that 11th one's going in. And then going from high school to college, there's a big adjustment there. There's always a learning curve. There's always a learning curve. For me, there's a major learning curve in terms of the speed of the game, how strong the college players are. So that first summer, the first summer session, I'm going from high school to college, and I'm loving it. I'm like, okay, we're going to college. Like this is great. We're gonna lift every day, and it's like I'm doing horrible in the weight room, horrible. I feel so weak compared to everybody else. And then I'm way slower than everybody else. So in pickup and all this stuff, I couldn't even get my shot off. Like I'm thinking I'm shooting a wide open catch and shoot three, block, tip. So I literally at a certain point I called my dad. I'm like, hey, I don't know if I could play here. Like I can't even shoot the ball. Like, these guys are insane. Like they're so athletic, they're quick, and so after that, I was like, okay, I'm making it a point. Like, I got recruited here to make an impact on winning. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get better. So I worked super super hard in the weight room, super hard on my craft, speeding up my shot a little bit, and never losing that confidence, like kind of just keeping that confidence all the way as high as I can all the time. Obviously some stuff's gonna drop the confidence, but for the most part, that summer, by the end of it, I was playing pretty well. Got accumulated to the speed of the game, the physicality of the game. I got a lot stronger. My going to my freshman year, those summer pictures from before we started working out to after changed my whole body, changed the way I looked. And I think that happens with a lot of high school to college players. But yeah, that was definitely one of those things I had to adjust to.
For me, when I was coming into college, I left high school at maybe 6 foot 160, and so I was pretty scrawny. And
Yep.
so I'm walking into Texas where my my first day that I got down there, they had us do an NBA combine, and I was the first name on the list to do vertical jump.
Yep.
That is not my thing.
Not a
And
special thing. Yep.
so
I can
no,
relate.
no. And I remember being everyone in the organization was there, the entire program, athletic trainers, our athletic director standing in the corner. I don't even know personally most of the guys on the team. And this is my first impression to go do vertical jump.
Yep.
And I got it over with as fast as possible.
Yep.
And I quickly realized this place is not going to be the most kind. It's just going to be honest. And
Yep.
so over the next 2 months, actually, I was consuming maybe 3 to 4 thousand calories a day, and I gained 20 pounds of muscle in 2 months.
There you
And
go.
my body was hurting.
Yep. You have to.
But that's what I had to do. I was getting bumped off the
Yeah.
spot way too easily.
Yep.
And so physical changes, I get that. It's
Huge.
pretty intense.
Huge. Yep.
When you got there and you were going through that struggle period, what were some of those conversations with coach like?
Um, not really with coach directly. I didn't really have those one-on-one conversations. It was more of on the
I
court.
figured. Yeah.
Yeah. Coach, he had such a way of doing things where he almost forced everyone to be at their best all the time, no matter what. So when we're in the beginning of the week, everyone's feeling pretty relatively fresh. You're at your top of your game. End of the week, everyone's exhausted. Late in the practice, like whatever hour it is, going hard, he expects you to be at your best. And so by him having that expectation, and if he thinks that you're below what your standard is, he's letting you know, like 100%, he's letting you know, and you're picking it right back up. And it's just relentless. He doesn't care. And I think that helped everybody on our team. And it kind of weeded out who's gonna stay, who's gonna leave, who's meant for it, and that's just a winning way. And then the other thing is Coach Shaw, he as soon as I got it to campus, I think it was like the first open gym, he said something like someone drove the ball and I'm open in the corner and they look me off and then go shoot a contested layup. And he had said right away, he stopped the whole thing. What are you doing? This kid is the best shooter in the country. And mind you, I haven't even played a college game yet. And I got my head coach calling me the best shooter in the country. And I'm like, even I looked at him like, you think so? Like, wow, like, appreciate it, but damn. So that kind of belief that coach had in me, it makes you feel a certain way. Not that anybody should really impact on how you believe in yourself and stuff, but it's always good to hear something like that from your head coach saying that, and then kind of instilling that confidence where it's like the best shooter in the country. Like that's like saying that's a crazy compliment to give, and it makes you think now like when you're open, like you're knocking it down. Like that's just a huge confidence booster, and it's been like that throughout the whole time being there. So being able to have a coach that believes in you that way, it does help a lot.
Your coach said something during the tournament. Well, first, after you guys upset that Kentucky team,
Yep.
everyone was obviously very excited about it. But there was no running, jumping around. It wasn't like when FDU beat Virginia,
No.
right? There was no running, there was no jumping around. As a matter of fact, your coaching staff were looking at you guys on the court and saying, "Hey, come over here." And I just thought, like the chill. I remember that moment so vividly. I got goosebumps, and I go, "These guys are going to make history." It's not because you guys upset Kentucky. Kentucky has a history of losing in early rounds, but but it was the demeanor that you guys had after that win, and obviously that progressed more as you guys, you beat Murray State, you guys beat Purdue, but after you guys beat Purdue, your coach said was in that post game interview immediately after the game, which I think is the worst time to ask questions, but um, coach goes, Cinderella this, underdog that. I just got a bunch of guys who have fun playing basketball. And so I guess my whole point with this is, what were those conversations like? What was the locker room like going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, so you're asking before we even made it to the tournament, or we
Yes.
know we're going to the tournament. Yeah. So
Yeah.
as soon as really selection Sunday, um, we find out that we're playing Kentucky, and we have like a whole thing in the gym. Parents are there, whatever, having a nice meal or whatever, and then our coach brings us in to like a huddle, and he's like very like serious at this point, and it's like, okay, everyone like lock in, like we gotta pay attention, like what he's about to say. And he says, we're playing Kentucky. He's like, this isn't some kind of trip that we're just gonna go and like have fun and like this is a business trip. We're going to win. Like we made it this far. We're doing what we did all year. We're going to win. We're scouting them. They're beatable. We have like that's kind of our only mindset is it's a business trip. We're going to win. And so once we had that conversation, it kind of changed the I guess the mood a little bit in terms of like, oh, like he's serious. Like his belief in it was so real that it affected our belief in it. And obviously, you get done with winning your conference, you're on top of the world. We did it. We're going dancing, all this, and then it's like bang, like right back to we're winning. Like that's our mindset.
Yeah. Does that does that mentality usually stem from the best teams? Does that mentality usually stemmed from the top down?
Yeah, yes, it does, because all the players are looking at what the coach does, and then all the players are looking at what the the best player is doing, one of the better guys, how they carry themselves, and then it trickles down. Like, okay, the guy that's making the most impact on winning, everyone's looking at him and then how he acts. And then it trickles down to like the next couple of guys, what are they doing? And then by the end of it, everyone's doing the same thing in terms of our preparation is proper, our intensity is a certain way, our standard that we have built together, we're trying to live up to that. And then it comes down to a certain point. Yes, the coach should be the one holding us all accountable, doing all the right things, getting us ready. But at the end of the day, the players are out on the court. So the coach could really say whatever he wants. The players have to go play the game. And our players at that time, our core players, everybody's holding each other accountable. We have the Jame twins, and they did not hesitate at all to say that someone wasn't doing something to our standard, and which is good. You need that. You don't need someone like one of the better players on the team, whoever that may be, saying, "You're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not," and then they kind of are not going as hard as they can, or they're not living up to their standard. Everybody knew that everything that was said, we're trying to get our team better. It's not personal at all. We're just trying to make sure that we're doing the correct things to put us in the best situation to win, and that's a special thing to have.
Yeah, totally agree. I've always said that the best teams, high school, college, doesn't matter. I've always said that the best teams are player led, they're not coach led. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. I know the coach has a little bit of an impact on that, um, obviously with the way they carry themselves and the way they do things. But again, at the end of the day, the players are the ones that are playing. And if you're playing for yourself and you got a bunch of guys playing for themselves, it's super, super difficult to go and do something special or win at a high level. But if you're playing for the guy next to you, that now you're playing for something greater than yourself. Now you don't hesitate to put your body on the line
Mhm.
to do everything you can to help your teammate win. So
Right. I always hear college students and people who analyze the game, these ESPN talking heads and everything like
Yep.
that. And they're always analyzing these teams with a brand new coach, and they're judging them on their first year as the head coach at that school. And I just think it's ridiculous because it takes roughly 2 years for you to fully instill the culture in the program that you're looking to build. By that third year, the program should be more player led than coach led.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like it. I
Yeah.
think, like you said, you can, to a certain extent, change the culture of a program in the first year. It's hard. Change is
Yeah.
hard. Change for anybody doing anything is hard. It's hard to break bad habits and then create new habits, better habits. It takes time. It takes time of being disciplined and like actually believing in it. And obviously for the coach instilling it. It's not going to change overnight. Like something great doesn't get changed overnight. There's no way. So that first year, it's probably going to be a rough year in terms you're going to make a little bit of progress, and then it comes down to the point like if certain guys keep repeating the same issues and they're resulting back to the bad habits and not the habits that I want them to have, then it comes down to the point like are they really meant for this program or not? And then obviously you start instilling in, and then it's easier when the players really believe in it that the players will start doing it and they'll see the vision, they'll understand it, they'll know what to expect, they'll know what the team is supposed to look like. And you get a bunch of guys doing that. Again, they've been doing it for 1 year. Okay, now 2 years, now the third year. Like this is what's expected. And now they start policing each other and they start holding everybody else accountable.
I saw a news clip when you guys were in the tournament about how St. Peter's was just this poor little school, and you guys had a hole in the roof of the gym, and you know,
Trenches.
yeah, you
Yep.
basically, yeah, you guys were getting it out the mud,
Uh-huh.
and and I didn't see this news clip until obviously after you guys had beaten Kentucky. But with the expectations being so incredibly low for a 15 seed playing against a powerhouse like the John Calipari Kentucky Wildcats,
Yep.
with the expectations being so low walking into the tournament, did you feel like the team was able to play more freely?
Yes. 100%. Loved it. Loved it. How we're losing by 30, we're losing by 40, love it. Go 50. We're supposed to get blown by 50. Whatever it is, like we enjoyed it because we had no expectation to do anything, so there's no point of over analyzing, overthinking anything. You think I care if I'm going to play against Kentucky? You think I care if I airball 2 threes? If I get my shot blocked by Oscar Shibwe? Like he's a
Right.
preseason national player of the year. You're talking about like what? Like there's who cares? Like
Yeah.
we're expected to lose. We're expected to do all, and not that we believed we believed we were going to win. Truly, we walked into that game believing that we were going to win. Um, More so that nobody knew St. Peter's, like you said, and my parents actually told me this. When they got to the arena in Indianapolis, for media or the practice before, it's like a big time like media day or whatever. You go and the media goes and watches the team practice for an hour on the court. You start to shoot around or do whatever you got to do. Kentucky's there. They say it looked like the Super Bowl, packed. All media is there, and then we were coming in after, and then it's like down to like 2 guys with cameras, and like it was empty. Um, they were selling T-shirts for all the teams. St. Peter's didn't have T-shirts, not yet. We didn't know how long we're going to be there, so they didn't have the T-shirts ready for us. And
Mhm.
none of that stuff matters, but it just shows you like there was zero belief by anybody else, and then you got like 100 belief, like we were winning this game in our locker room. And then so you're
Yeah.
walking. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, yeah. Well, I was gonna say you guys actually had at all of St. Peter's, you guys had fewer students enrolled at St. Peter's than the number of Kentucky students who were at the game where y'all beat Kentucky. That's
Crazy.
an insane statistic that I saw the other day when I was researching for this episode,
Yeah,
and my jaw was on the floor. And so,
crazy.
like, what explain what that feels like walking into a game where quite literally millions of people expect you to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. So like to be honest, and I'm like, I'm so happy that this happened. I don't know if it's because of something super special, but I can go back and see everything. Like my memory of it is so clear that I can really go and look at what I was seeing and see like the entire arena, all these different things, different plays that happen, which I hope that I never lose that because those are just phenomenal memories. But I'm walking onto the court and it's like when you're warming up and then you look down the other end and you got like Kentucky's players, like the film showed one thing, but real life, they look completely different. They look a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit more athletic. So we're looking around
Yeah.
and I'm over here and my pregame stuff is kind of crazy. I'm out there barking. I'm making loud noises. I'm walking around with my chest up, chest out, head up, just walking, kind of taking over the floor in a way, not to be arrogant, but in a way for myself, just to get myself going. Like I'm convincing myself I'm the best player on the court. I'm the best player on the court. Um, and everybody should have that belief. I don't care what kind of court you're on with whoever you're on. Everybody should have that kind of belief. And I'm making sure that if you like kind of walk around and you're a little hesitant to do stuff or you're just setting the tone. I didn't care at all. I'm setting the tone. Like you said, we're supposed to lose by 4. I'm up walking around, jumping around, making noises to the point where I'm like so like locked into the game and I'm ready to go. So, but you look around and across from our bench was our little St. Peter's blue of parents and maybe some friends, family, whatever it is. The small section. The rest of the arena was that Kentucky blue. And it was almost a home game for them. It was so close to them that it was almost a home game. And it was so crazy just looking at all like the Kentucky blue and the fans are going all out. And then you hear like they make a run. They hit like 2 shots in a row. That defense chant from the crowd was some of the loudest stuff I've ever heard from a crowd ever. And it's like you're listening to the energy in the building. So that's as good as it's gonna get in terms of being able to handle challenges, a little bit of adversity. But you go into playing against that team with that kind of energy behind it and that kind of support behind it. It's not easy. It's very easy to kind of fall off and then you start missing details, and before you know it, you're down 10. So for us to be able to execute the way that we did and stayed in the game the way that we did was a huge credit to us as players and coaches staying together and trusting the process. And then obviously us being together for over 3 years, or the 3rd year, is like you guys know what to expect from each other. You know the standard that's built every day in practice, and it's like we're just going to go out there and execute.
What does it mean to be a star in your role?
Yeah, that's a tough one because a lot of people try to do things outside of their role. Maybe the clarity isn't there on what their role is, and the clarity is it's so unclear to the point where you're thinking you're one thing when your role is not. So like if your role is to come off the bench and play defense and you know that's kind of it, like that's your role. But if you think that your role is to come off the bench and go for 20, like there's a disconnect there. That's where a lot of things get messed up. And the teams that have players that understand their role and do it to the best of their ability, again, that's where you get something special. And I felt like that I did a decent job with understanding my role. People were saying, "Oh, like, why don't you start? Why didn't you start?" I didn't start. Like, I just wasn't a starter. And what am I gonna do about it? I'm gonna sit there and I should be starting. I should be starting. Who cares? Like, um, playing starter minutes or not playing starter minutes, whatever it is, whatever your role is. And at that time, I care about winning. So it's like all these people are saying all this stuff. Oh, you didn't start. I think they asked my coach after one of the games in the tournament, like, you think you're going to go forward like starting Doug Edert? Like, no. Like, first of all, why would you even ask that? Because now you're trying to, there's going to be some kind of, maybe he thinks I'm thinking now, oh, I should be starting. Like, why am I not starting?
Oh,
And then you
Lord.
start doing all that stuff. But I'm coming off the bench. Like, whenever my number's called, I'm ready to go. And when I get out there, I'm giving it my all for however long that is. If I go in and stay in the rest of the game, I'm in there. If I go in for 1 minute, come right back out, that I give all I could for 1 minute, it is what it is. So that was kind of my role there. And then yeah, I feel like we had really throughout the whole team, we had a bunch of guys that really understood what their job was. And again, it's so difficult to get that kind of clarity. But again, we've been together for 3 years, so we know 3 years of work. Not now where it's you got 9 new players every year thinking they're gonna get all these different things. It's super difficult to build that kind of chemistry together and to be able to play for someone else that's not yourself, when you have 9 new guys that are coming together. It's way easier when you're with the same guys for 3 years.
You're a player who transferred. What do you think the solution to the current transfer portal problem should be?
Yeah, I think that it's hurting college basketball because there's no loyalty. It's hard to find that like you're playing for your school and all that stuff. I think the only solution to that, I don't know if they could ever do it, is to make it contract based. You have to if you're gonna go to this school, you have to stay here for 3 years. You'll get this amount
Mhm,
of NIL money, whatever it is, you have to stay here for 3 years, or you have to stay
mhm,
here for 2 years and make it
yeah,
contract based. So they're agreeing to a extended period of time, not you come
mhm.
here, okay, at the end of the year, you're a free agent now. Where else do you wanna go? Okay, you go here. You know what I'm saying? So I think my opinion, would be the best way to do it.
Right, and you actually hit the nail on the head. So I've done a lot of looking into this, and so I think that the only reason we have the current revenue sharing system is because it's the NCAA's way of keeping employment status at bay. Because the moment that you offer employment to these students, then the schools and the NCAA have to dish out, I mean, potentially billions of dollars to cover employment benefits and everything else that goes along with that. And so, do I think that is a solution? Yes, I actually do think you're spot on. Do I think that the NCAA will ever do it? I think they'll have to do it at some point because we are getting way too close to getting very out of hand with some of the policies and everything.
Yeah.
Um, do you agree though that if a player enters the transfer portal and the school that they land at, their coach is then fired or quits or leaves, do you think that player should also be able to leave?
Yeah, like that's a tough one. A lot of it, and it's not for everybody, but a lot of it is people sign with or commit to where their coach is. Like that's really a lot of the main factors that go into committing is the coach because that's the guy who gets to decide everything. And if it's not a good fit with them, it might be a great school, whatever. It's not a good fit with the coach who you're going to be spending almost all your time with, and that's what the reason you're going there. It's like you commit to that coach and then he gets fired or leaves, then it's like, um, that's where it gets tricky. But that's one of those things where it's like, I would say that you have to allow the kid to reconsider his decision because he committed to something and that thing got blown up. So like,
Mhm.
now what? He's gonna stay there. He doesn't know who his coach is gonna be. So I think that it is fair that that person would be able to re-enter the portal and kind of reconsider.
Are there any other circumstances where a player should be able to enter the transfer portal again?
Um, I would say I guess the more that you come up with these scenarios, the more out of hand it gets. But I'm trying to think like injury wise. Maybe
Mhm.
you transfer somewhere, you get injured, and then you don't play for a whole year. So technically, you didn't really play at that school. Can you get up and leave? Maybe. But the more of those scenarios that are all like, um, if this happens, what happens if this and that and all, then you start just getting out of hand. But I
Yeah.
think it does need to be a little bit more strict in terms of the rules, and the rules actually have to be applied. But it's not easy. I could already see that how difficult it is to make because you're trying to be fair. You're trying to be fair. You're trying to make the right decisions for everything, for college basketball and really just sports in general. So it's not easy, but there does need to start. We need to start making some progress with the rules.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the NAIA, the NCAA would actually be illegal. Like it's a monopoly. It's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
And so I think for them to have a chokehold on what college basketball looks like as a landscape, I ultimately think that's the direction for Power Five schools is that they will end up being on an employment basis where there's some contractual element there.
Yep.
I mean, these kids are already employees. Like they're right there. you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the only thing separating them from employment is vision and dental. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. That's all it comes
No,
down to.
seriously, it is what maybe if they even do it at the high major schools like you said, it's
Hmm.
maybe that's where you start. Maybe
Right.
that's where you start, and then, it trickles down, maybe to see how it works, maybe trickle down
Hmm.
to the mid-major and go from there, but I think that's a
Yeah.
phenomenal idea with the high major, I mean, it's crazy up there, so you might as
Yeah.
well try something, see if it works for a year, maybe not.
I mean, I played with these guys. I know what the locker room conversations around this were. How much am I getting paid? Oh, okay, 30, 40 grand a month. Cool. And like,
Yeah,
and that's the thing though. It's that a lot of these high major athletes don't care because they're the ones who reap all the benefits of the NCAA's experimentation.
yeah,
It's the low level and mid major guys who, or guys transferring from a JUCO to a D2, right? It's those guys who is the talent level disproportionate? I'll argue that the talent level is not disproportionate, but I'll argue
argue
that the
that the
money and
money.
the backing is disproportionate. And so I just don't know what that system looks like. It's a very complicated and nuanced problem. And I think the more that players and the media and everyone else leans into it, um, I think they'll just have to start coming up with solutions. But I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and then, again, it's like, nobody's in the wrong, like, you got
Right.
guys that are going to the transfer portal, you got options, "Okay, you're gonna pay me this amount of money? Oh, you guys are paying me this amount? I'm going with you guys."
Yep.
I don't care who's on the team, I don't care who the coach is, what it
Yep.
I'm just looking at the dollar signs, and as college kids, you're looking like, it's reasonable, like, what do you expect them to do? "Oh, I'm gonna turn down this amount of money because 'cause I'm gonna stay with these guys," like, I don't know, it's just you put them in such a difficult spot. Obviously, everyone has their own, like, perspective on things, but I'm just saying, for the most part, people
Yeah.
are like you said, "How much money am I making?" Okay. It's like now you're getting away
Yeah.
from how are you how do you expect people to start playing for people big other than themselves, if they're just trying to get theirs and get paid?
Yeah,
So,
I think it's interesting because especially if you're in a spot where you realize I'm not going to play in the NBA, and so this is the most amount of money I'll probably make
yep.
ever. And
Yeah.
so I have this 5 to apparently now we can do as many years as we want, but, you
9,
know,
yeah, 10.
this 5, 6, 15-year period, whatever it is, to maximize my earnings, and it's like, I don't blame a lot of these guys for doing the portal hopping. They're just taking advantage of a system that shouldn't be in place the way it is now. And so I don't know
Yep.
what the solution is. I'm not smart enough. I don't know all the nuances, but it'll be interesting to see. Um, how do you feel about G League dropouts?
Yeah, that's taking it to a whole nother level. Um, that
Yeah.
that's when I start seeing those things happen, it's like, okay, we people in the NCAA, I don't know, again, I'm not, educated enough to about what how that all that works and stuff, but once you see people going to the G League, going out back down to college, like, we have something that's out of control. Like, there's gotta be some kind of something we could put in. A little solution that we could get, because that's you're basically one step after college, you're one step before the NBA, and instead of, like, now you're just going right back down to college, like, I don't know. It's just
Well, the rule behind it is we are now directly paying players to play, not this whole NIL
oh,
loophole
yeah.
off to the
Yep,
side thing. It's
absolutely.
we're paying players to play. And so as long as someone still has college eligibility, so you take the who is it? Kyrie Walker, right? Who he didn't go to college. He did some other thing, and so he still has 4 years of college eligibility, and now he's
Yeah.
looking at being a 25-year-old freshman.
Yep.
Um, do I think that's good for the game of basketball? Absolutely not. But again,
No.
they're taking advantage of a system and they're playing it. But
Yep.
here's the thing: if they do introduce him on an employment basis, it's going to get worse. You're going to have, I mean, unless there's very airtight contractual things, you're going to have guys who are playing in, not the NBA, but guys who are playing in like the second league in Turkey coming over and making way more money playing Division 1 basketball than they were in the second league in Turkey. And
Yeah.
so that's just going to be what it is.
And
Professional players are going to play college basketball.
then that kind of with that kind of system, it's like LeBron James has 4 years of eligibility, does he not?
Yeah,
Like,
he
he
does.
so he what are you talking about? We got, like, LeBron technically he go to college.
That's
Like,
a good
what are you
point.
talking about right now? Like, what it
Yeah.
there needs to be
Yep.
some kind of rule that prevents stuff like that happening.
Yeah.
Since
So you're
what?
so you're against 25-year-old freshmen.
Yeah, like, it's just
I
it's not
figured, man.
it's not what college basketball the college basketball that I watched growing up and really that I, like, looked at when I was in high school and then obviously a part of, um, to a certain extent. I feel like in the middle of my college career, that's kinda where things started changing, but, like, it's just there was a different feeling back, before all this, and not that it's ever gonna get to that level, but it needs to start going in that direction a little bit,
Yeah.
so
Much more to see there. Transitioning now to walking away from the game as in a player capacity. This is something I've been really interested in lately, and it's something that I've been talking about with a lot of different people. And so you get the guys online who are like, "Oh, just play in a men's league." We're both playing in men's leagues. It's not the same. Like
yeah.
we both participated in the NCAA tournament. It's not the same. And
Yeah.
so when did you, I'm sure that if someone came and offered you a contract to play, you would play. Same thing for me. In your current situation right now, on February 13th, 2026,
Yep.
when did you kind of realize it was time for you to walk away from the game in a current player capacity?
Yeah, I mean, I had, right after college, I was gonna go down the whole try to get an agent, go overseas kinda thing, and, the opportunities that I had just didn't make sense to me. Like, going to to a different country to get paid X amount of dollars is just it doesn't make sense. That's just me saying for my opportunities.
Mhm.
So, looking past that, it's like, okay, just get right into coaching, training, and doing stuff like that, and, I'm, like, happy with my decision, and then you do that for a year or 2 years, you're still playing some, like, pickup games and stuff, and, staying in shape, but now it's like, I wanna start playing again, so I get back into playing. I'm playing a couple men's leagues and whatever that is, and, pro-ams, I guess you call them.
Yep.
But, uh, it's fun for sure, absolutely, 100%. It's a blast, like, you're with your boys, some are more competitive than others, but there is, like, a level of, like, okay, I guess when you do play in a league there's, like, stakes, so, like you said, mentioning about the tournament, do I ever think I'm gonna get back to something that extreme? Probably not, but like you said, it's not the same, so how do you make it the same? Do you start playing for money? Is there, I know a lot of these basketball content creators keep talking about a semi-professional league, they're trying to make semi-professional teams and make it that way,
Yeah.
and, which is all great stuff, but, like,
Yep.
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah. I've done entire episodes on basketball content creators and everything like that because I'm one of them. Not to the same extent that they are, but I don't know. We could do a whole episode on that, but no, it's definitely not the same. I actually wrote something recently. I want to share it with you. I don't know if you saw me post it or not, but millions of young men describe themselves with a single word: athlete. And every year, men run out of opportunities to play the game that made them who they are. No retirement speech, no jersey in the rafters. Just one day when they realize that the game is over and it's time to grow up. When the game ends and the ball stops bouncing, it doesn't feel like quitting. It feels like a part of you is being erased. Not because you ever stopped loving the game, but because the world just stopped asking you about it. The thing that made you a part of a community, gave you all your friends, taught you more about life than any classroom ever could, got you through bad grades and breakups and even the death of a loved one, now feels like it has shut the door on you, no longer embracing you in its welcoming arms. No one warns you that losing the game also means losing the version of yourself the game built. Your entire schedule was built around practices, games, workouts, and film studies. You complained about that coach not giving you playing time, or about that selfish teammate from sixth grade whose name you probably can't even remember. When you were working, you were thinking about that girl from class. Now, when you work, you think about that girl who gave you everything, except now she feels a little bit colder, a little bit more distant. For the first time in your life, there is no whistle that tells you when to start, no buzzer telling you when to stop. Now, you have to try to replace this void. not just in the calendar, but in your soul. You realize that you and your friends don't actually have that much in common, and so you drift away from each other. Your parents tell you to get a job so you can take care of yourself, but you've never truly considered an alternative to the game that you love, and so you feel lost. Then you realize you aren't afraid of being bad at something new. You're afraid of being nobody at all. You don't realize how addicted you were to everyone's approval. You don't realize how the game gave you permission to be a kid, staving off the responsibilities of adult life. Rent, taxes, the idea of having a family one day. How could you possibly even consider this? Yesterday, you were 14, and now you're 22. All of a sudden, the game you love turned from "I can't wait" to "I remember when."
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that?
That's like there's probably so many people out there now that that is like complete facts to. Like 100% spot on to a lot of people and their situations. That's like kind of how it goes for those that don't really make it to the league or decide to not go overseas or whatever it is. Like that's like the route, and that those are like the mindsets and the thoughts and stuff that kind of creep in. And with that, I think that there should be some kind of solution to it in terms of like you're still capable to play. Like yes, you could work out, and I like take a lot of pride in like taking care of my body, doing longevity stuff, and always staying in shape, like top tier shape, trying to stay in rhythm as best I can. And it's like that's just for me. Some people that the ball stops bouncing, it's like they'll never touch the ball again, or they don't care about their body as much because like what's the point? But my goal is to be able to play basketball forever, be able to move forever, all these different things. And I think that if I have the ability to play, I want to play. Like that's
Yeah.
you
Yep.
might not be able to play forever. Like you
Right.
think you're at 85 years old, are you still playing? I don't know, maybe not. But 20, 25, 20, 24, 26, 30, 31, yeah, we can still play. So like, um, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that there's gotta be a way.
Yeah. You don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it is hard for those where it's like your day becomes a little different. You got a different level of responsibilities and stuff. But if I guess if it's important enough, you figure out a way to kind of get it in there and like make it work.
Yep.
So
Is coaching endgame for you?
that's a great question. I don't really know where I want to go with it. I know that I would like to stay involved in basketball, whether that's coaching, training, basketball content, all that different stuff. And then coaching is like extremely fun, and I find it awesome in terms of like the competition stuff. And I would love to get an opportunity to be a head coach somewhere, but going through the process of being an assistant for 12 years just to get a head coaching job later down the line, like I don't know if that's realistic for in my opinion for me, but getting an opportunity to be that head coach, I truly believe, and this is again, this is just my delusion, maybe whatever it is, my confidence in myself. I believe if I get a college program as a head coach right now, I make a positive impact on that team, that culture, and that program, and then it's trickles down from there, and it turns into a powerhouse. And that's just me. I've been coaching for 2 years at JV level,
Yep.
and I'm just saying I know um, I have that level of belief in myself, and I would love to get that opportunity. I'm like getting the chills thinking about it, but if that opportunity never presents itself, then it wasn't meant to be. But again, like coaching is one of those things where it's like that's where I'm satisfied with that level of competition as I was a player, and I would make that work for whatever I had to do to make that work.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Last question for you. You've done post-game press conferences, you've done interviews, you've done podcasts, you've done YouTube videos. What is a question that you have never been asked?
A question that I've never been asked. That's a good one. That's a good one because sometimes my memory isn't great, so maybe I was asked something that I forgot, but I'm trying to think of one that might have been a good one. Maybe a lot of people ask that same question, like, how was the run? What does it feel like? Um, I would say in terms of coaching, more so, like, what do I believe is the most important thing, um, that the most important thing a team needs in order to reach their potential? I think that would be that question in terms of nobody really asked me that, and it's I just find it like a super important question to ask because coaches may, like we said earlier, coaches may have like their different ways of doing things, but like, what is that thing that makes things special? So within the team, and I guess this could be
Yeah.
a business team, any kind of
Hmm.
team, not a basketball team, a basketball team, football team, whatever it is. Like what makes something special? Like what is that? Do you want me to answer that?
What would be your response to that?
I think the answer to it, and we touched on it earlier, is the everybody being on the same wavelength. Maybe not the same exact wavelength, but the same, close to the same wavelength, as opposed to everybody's looking at the same thing a certain way. That's relatable. So the chemistry developed within the players or the people that you're with every day, the coaches, and what the overall vibe is, I guess, from every day. And being able to take the preparation, now I'm talking more so basketball, the preparation. So like I said, I think about it all the time. Coach Shah, he he built us, the guys that were in my freshman class, kind of like those guys, and along with the others that kind of joined later on. Um, how did he manage to turn what we were into what we ended up becoming at the end of it? Because I mean, we're talking about the only 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight. Like, why us? Like, what was so different that we did that a lot of the other teams don't do? And I think it's the extreme level of discipline that was forced on us. And whether it's forced on us or whether we just did it, Coach Shaw did it in a way where he made us get to the best that we could become, no matter what it took. It didn't matter what it took. It was, and you would think that, like, I think I'm doing everything right, but how am I still getting yelled at? How am I still like messing up? And mind you, if you zoom out, you really are doing everything right. You're just trying to get a little bit better, a little bit better. And those are the things that people aren't willing to do. They're not willing to go that extra inch to just keep trying to get that little 1% better. And then you combine that, so that level of accountability, that level of discipline being forced on you with players that have the same mind. I want to get better. Like I want to get it perfect. I want to do this. And then it's like you combine that with like your teammates saying like, I need my guy, my teammate, I need my brother to get up. I need him to get a little bit better. Because if he gets a little bit better, then our team gets a little bit better, then I get a little bit better. And it's like this endless, infinite loop of everybody's just trying to get better. And obviously it's not easy at all to hold yourself to that level. Like I mean I don't know from experience, but I would assume like military level of discipline and accountability of no matter what, we're feeling good, not feeling good, we're going in there, and the practice of the preparation. I mean, Coach Shaw, the preparation was all of it. We're going into practice 3 hours. We're beating each other up. Like in terms of picture this, I'm kind of rambling on with this answer, but
No, you're good.
picture this: we have practice, right? And say we're coming off a loss. Now every college knows that they know what they're getting into the next day. We're at lunch, and this happened multiple times, almost every day. We're at lunch, the whole team together, eating lunch before practice, talking about yo, coach is on one today. we gotta make sure nothing is personal. Nothing's personal. We know it's gonna be a tough one. We're gonna be physical with each other. Nobody do anything like we know what it is. We're trying to get better. We go in practice, we are beating each other up. There's like very few foul calls. People are being physical. The coach is getting on people. So now that person's getting a little mad. So now he's got a little extra physicality. So it turns into trying to run a play. The play starts with a entry to the wing. It's like he catches it. Coach, stop. Why is he catching the ball so easily? Okay. Now a defender grabbing his shirts, denying a little bit. Why can't you get open? So
Mhm.
now it's like he's going, what is supposed to happen here? Like someone's got to give. That's just one small example of like the level of preparation. And it's like now you're beating each other up. Your brother, you guys are fighting after practice. You got scratches. You're bleeding a little bit. You're bruised up. You're going to the training room, back to dinner, ready to do the next thing tomorrow. The same exact thing, same intensity, same level. And it's like, how many of those days can you stack on top of each other to where it just becomes a habit? Like now
Yeah.
it's just a normal.
Yep.
But you could do it once or twice, but now that becomes your normal practice over a span of 3 years. Like that's the special right there. That's like now you got other teams. You think other teams are practicing that hard? Maybe, maybe not. I'm thinking not. I'm thinking not. Like I'm thinking that we doing
Yeah.
something very unique in terms of now when we're on the same team and we're going against other guys that are trying to beat us, like let's say on our home court, no way.
Mm-mm.
We worked way too hard. We practiced way too hard, and it means that much to all of us that we're doing everything we can to stop you guys. Like you guys aren't stopping us. So I guess I think that level of preparation and that level of discipline, accountability, connectivity, same wavelength. That's the answer to what is gonna be special.
Mm. Doug Edert, ladies and gentlemen. Doug, this was an awesome conversation, dude. I had so much fun. I had so much
Appreciate it.
fun.
Yeah, no, this was great.
Yeah. No,
The
hopefully we got some responses out of you that no one's ever heard before. I had a blast. I mean, I watched all 3 games plus the game um in y'all's conference tournament, and just trying to like get a feel for what the team was about, get a sense
Yeah.
of everything. And so culture is a huge thing for me. That's something I'm always trying to learn about. Special
Yep.
teams, special cultures, special players. And so I really appreciate you hopping on today, man.
No, this was awesome. And again, this podcast was a lot different than a lot of the other ones I've been on. Honestly, you did a really good job. It's like
Thank you.
people kind of have like their set questions, and then it's like they go like ask like a direct question, and the way you kind of transition from question to question was very like fluid, and it's like more conversational. And I think we had a lot of great conversations about a bunch of different things. And like you said, not so much of the run itself, but a lot of it was like 2 steps outside, which is awesome because I feel like a lot of people wanna hear that kinda stuff.
Yeah. No, I do. I do. I've been a part of great teams. I know what the run in and of itself looks like. Uh, but it's you I wanted to learn about, not 2022 same years. And so
Oh,
thank you.